Hey there, so welcome to the Unheated greenhouse. I am out here on a lovely fall afternoon. It's actually significantly warmer out here in the greenhouse. I keep being so surprised every time I come out here that it's so warm. But I was looking at all my seeds, getting ready for my indoor seed starting, and I came across some of my milkweed seeds, and I figured, you know what, I have to plant something. And milkweed likes to be sown in the fall, so I was like, let's sow some milkweed out here in the garden, in the greenhouse. Now I could plant it in the ground, and I actually think I might plant some of it. I have a few seed packs, so I might sow, like, I just harvested some, I think, out in the wild, so I might sow some of these outside. But I find like it's easier to manage seedlings in a greenhouse setting like this. You just can kind of, I don't know, I can keep a better eye on them. You know, wildlife is going to really like get to them, dig them up or anything. And I can just kind of manage whether or not they're germinating and what's happening. And if my seeds are good, I can just feel like it's easier to kind of deal with the seedlings. And plus it's kind of fun to have something growing out here. The seeds aren't going to germinate probably until the spring. I do think that usually milkweed likes to have a dormancy period, and it likes to be exposed to some of like the cold. Actually helps with the germination. But it's kind of warm in here, like it's feeling pretty toasty, so I think it may germinate. But I wouldn't be worried if it does, because there's going to be enough fluctuation in temperature in here that it'll be pretty similar to growing outside. I've had a lot of luck with growing in these kind of unheated greenhouses, basically using it like you would with winter sowing. So any plant that you would winter sow, if you've done that, where you take like a milk bottle or something and you just put your seeds in it and then set it outside, you're basically doing the same thing with the unheated greenhouse, where you're planting things and then you're letting them sort of wake up naturally. But you're just able, same with like winter sowing, you're just able to like manage the seedlings. You can see that they've come up, and then you can intentionally plant them out in the spring, and it just kind of makes it, I don't know, sort of just like slightly easier to deal with. So I only have an 8-pack here, and I have a couple different kinds of milkweed. So the first one is common milkweed. I do have a discount code with Botanical Interests, so if you are interested in any of their seeds, I will put that down below, just because, hey, why not? But lovely common milkweed, the regular thing, the thing that the monarchs like. These are going to grow those beautiful big like flowers in the summer, and then they're going to make the seed pods in the fall, and they're going to spread by rhizomes, so they should create naturalize into a nice perennial in the garden. They're drought tolerant. They are a native perennial down to zone 3. Do avoid, of course, the sap. That's actually can be toxic, and they're deer resistant. I don't know if I mentioned that, but for me, the deer have been such a challenge. So I may try to grow some of this in some of my other garden spaces outside of the deer fence as well, if we have any luck. So I'm going to do 4 seed cells with the common milkweed. I just figure it's that, it's a native, it's just that traditional, pretty milkweed. I've only ever had luck starting milkweed from seed that was with a winter sowing method. I've never had luck starting it inside, so I feel pretty good about this. And then I also have this milkweed, which is called Soulmate, and I think maybe the leaf is a little bit different. A vanilla scented swamp milkweed with gorgeous belly slipper pink flowers. Pollinators cannot resist it. Just over 3 feet tall, fantastic in any garden. I don't really know what the difference is to look at it, but yeah, let's get it in here. See, they say to start it indoors or sow outdoors once the soil has reached 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, let's just do 2 cells of these and see. Maybe it's slightly different, because the common milkweed, it does actually say just to sow it, if you want to direct sow it in the fall for spring germination. I also have some of the red butterfly weed, that like other kind of like red orangey looking milkweed. And this, it says direct sow in spring or fall. It's going to grow to 24 inches, so it's going to be slightly shorter, but it's going to have those really pretty bright orangey flowers, which are so nice. Okay. Let's put a couple seeds in here. I think these are going to germinate pretty well. I like this. Okay. Now, I didn't bring out my plant labels, my plant tags, which I knew I was going to regret. That's okay. I'm going to set it down. We'll just remember that's the milkweed one. And I think that the common milkweed and the butterfly weed are going to look very different when they come up as seedlings. So I will be able to tell the other cells that are the common milkweed. The butterfly milkweed has a very different sort of shape, and the leaf shape and everything is pretty different. So now the question is, should I just throw some of these milkweed seeds around and see if I can get any milkweed growing? I would just, if it's really deer resistant, it'd be fun to have on the edges of certain areas of the property, just to like, bring some of that like pollinator garden look to different spots in the garden, especially like around the apple tree and stuff. I want to have more flowers for the pollinators. We really don't have a ton of wildflowers growing just naturally around the yard. And I think that part of that is because the deer pressure in this garden is so intense. They really do eat everything. I had one plant that I was thinking was maybe like goldenrod or something, and then the deer came in and like just ate it all. And I was really sad. I was really honestly very sad about it, because I was so excited. Goldenrod is such a pretty perennial. It's such a good perennial to have in the garden. And that was just kind of a bummer. So I think I'm going to I guess I collected this in 2023, and I guess I have like an acorn in here. I'm trying to remember. I think I picked this acorn up off of like a really beautiful oak tree that was really cool. So maybe, do I want to have another oak tree anywhere in the garden? I'm gonna put this acorn. Got this pot with this pansy right here. I'm gonna stick the acorn in here. Let's see if we can get it to grow. I think you are supposed to like soak them, but you know what? We're just gonna like see if it happens. It happens, and then we'll deal with planting a big, beautiful oak somewhere on the property. I should deadhead this now. Encourage it to grow some more flowers. All of the flowers are doing super well in here. Looking really good. I think they're liking this environment. And yeah, it's staying so nice and warm in this garden. Got a little ladybug on there. That would be good, because that's the only thing I worry about with like an unheated greenhouse space like this, is that we're encouraging like the bugs and stuff to kind of grow. You can get into a little bit of infestation situation when you have a greenhouse like that. So I do have to keep an eye on that, especially with like the little seedlings, that we don't have any overwintering slugs or snails that are going to want to get those seedlings. So if you are starting seedlings like this in an unheated greenhouse, whether it's one of the big ones or the little ones, do think about that. I do have some slug bait that I could put down, and I might, if I notice any at all, I will actually put the slug bait around the seedlings just to make sure that we're not going to have them come up, because it is warmer in there, and so the pests are gonna they're gonna be active probably even earlier than they would out in the garden. Also, like some BT is handy to have, and making sure that the edges are really tamped down so you don't have any squirrels getting in there, because that is one of the issues too that I've had with these kind of greenhouses, is having squirrels come in and like dig up your seedlings. So a few things to keep in mind. But yeah, perfect thing to do in an unheated greenhouse. To start something like milkweed, go through your seeds, anything that you can plant in the fall, bells of Ireland, anything like that you can totally do in a unheated greenhouse. You can totally use it for anything, any kind of direct sowing sort of perennials. You can do a lot that you can start in there. Again, don't necessarily expect that they're going to germinate right away, but they might because it's a little warmer, but they'll just kind of start their life cycle. And yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really hoping to get some milkweed out here because I think it would just really add to the garden, and of course bring in the monarchs would be great. So yeah, anyways, thank you so much for hanging out in the garden today. I did a ton of work putting all the leaf mulch on top of everything, so I'm like feeling a little tired now, and I'm gonna go inside and get some lunch. But thanks for watching, and I will talk to you again soon.